Hey everybody, this is Casey July from the July Studio. I don't even know how some people like film, because the absolute second I start like setting up my camera or even like getting my supplies out or setting up my tablet, like this huge storm is rolling in. There's like thunder outside and it's almost time for the bus and my dog is going crazy, and just now my cat was like up here and her tail was like in front of it, and so I don't even know. And I like could mess with my makeup and my hair and my lights for like 6 hours and never be happy with it. So today on hashtag So Drunk, I am going to be reviewing a pattern. But first I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about me and the July Studio. I took a little bit of a hiatus there for a while. You know, sometimes you just hit a bad mental health point and you kind of have, I call it a fog. And you wake up from this fog and you're like, dude, what am I doing with myself? So I did get accepted for Kansas City Fashion Week. My show is on October the 13th, Friday the 13th in Kansas City. I do have an original line that I designed and I am hand making that will be going down the runway in Kansas City. I've landed a couple of pretty nice cosplay jobs for some clients that are gonna be out later in a couple of months, and those are gonna be so much fun to reveal. If you are interested in more of like my everyday stuff, you can follow me on Facebook. I have my Casey July, which is kind of more of my thoughts and feelings on things. The July Studio, which is more of like my business. If you want to see like my late night ramblings and like sneak peeks of my work, you can go to my Instagram and my Twitter. Those are kind of more like things about like my life, my working conditions. Like I have kittens outside and raccoons and all the stupid stuff that happens to me, like when I go down to the lake on my lunch breaks. So make sure to check out the July Studio, Casey July, on social media if you kind of want to follow my life a little bit closer. I'm going to be slowly phasing out the July Studio as a clientele base for me. I'm going to be taking my cosplay clients and my sewing clients more on a one-on-one basis. I'm going to be looking for some cooler projects and some bigger projects for that. And I'm going to be focusing a little bit more on producing content for YouTube and for some of my vlogs and blogs, kind of taking you with me when I go places and just kind of giving you some insight on the cool stuff that I get to do and the awesome people that I meet. So Drunk will have 2 parts. I will actually have hashtag So Drunk when I'm actually drinking alcoholic beverages and being silly and having fun. And then I will also have hashtag So Drunk where I will just be talking about life in general and just how silly, you know, sometimes normal everyday things make you feel like you're like, hey, am I drinking? Because maybe I should be drinking, because whatever's happening to me right now, I really need a drink. So I just want to let you guys know that I'm really looking for input. I'm really looking for, you know, like I do really well with positive criticism. And I will say, though, one of the things that I look for is success. People who are successful, people who are doing what I want to be doing. Those are the people I want to hear from. If you have like 40 followers on YouTube and you want to get on here and try to tell me how to run my channel, I may not feel as comfortable taking advice from you as somebody who has 10,000 followers on YouTube. And you know, if you've never sewn a day in your life or you've never been to a cosplay convention, you know, those are the kinds of people that kind of rub me raw when they try to give me advice about my business and about my life. It's like, dude, you have no idea what you're talking about because you've never done anything at all like this, ever. All right. Whew. Okay. So this is McCall's pattern M7468. I don't know if it looks backwards. When I watch this again, I'll see if it looks backwards. That's, cold shoulder. You're supposed to make it with elastic back waist casing, neck slit with button closure, different length variations, and they suggest crepe and lawn. Now, first off, I'm going to say that everything I say today is my opinion. I have a shirt that says, I have an opinion and everybody else is entitled to it. Yes. I did make this shirt for a private client. I made this shirt in jersey knit, which makes it more like a t-shirt. And sometimes lawn or crepe is more like a soft, silky t-shirt feeling, or something that's a little bit of a crisper feeling. And jersey knit is just really super stretchy. I followed the directions, kind of, because I have been sewing for such a long time. I don't tend to follow directions very well on patterns. I like to see how they make things happen. I own about 4,000 patterns. I actually don't need them. I know how to draft a pattern. In fact, this pattern didn't fit the client quite correctly, and I did alter the pattern and redraft the pattern to make it fit the client better and to make it more exactly how the client wanted instead of just the picture. The pattern was very true to size. The measurements were very true to size as is. It has decent instructions for laying it out, cutting it out, for going with the nape, without the nape, things like that. If you sew and you get all those terms, that's great. If you don't know how to sew, if you're a beginner, I would not suggest this pattern for you. It had a couple of places in it where it took me 2 days to process the instructions, and I have been sewing for over 15 years. So I will say that I had to tear out, I say tear out, I had to rip the seams in 2 different places, which I haven't completely torn out something. I haven't completely ripped the seams out of a project in a really, really long time. So that's kind of a negative for me. Sorry, my cat is lagging on my instructions because cats can't read, but they know what words are. All right. The other thing about this pattern was, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this to you clearly. It had misprints. For example, this says I'm looking at it to make sure it's showing up kind of halfway in. This says to do, it gives you some instructions to do to piece 1, which is the front. And it shows piece 3, which is the sleeve. If you look, then it says piece 2, which is the back. And then it gives you the instructions for piece 3, which is the sleeve. So it gives you instructions for one piece and shows you a different piece. There's a couple other places in there where the instructions are not wrong, but they don't read very well. So, I am a simplicity girl. That's just what I like. I do sew with McCall's, I sew with Vogue, I sew with all the different patterns, but I would have to say that I have found the most misprints and the most difficulty sometimes reading the patterns with McCall's. All right, so that being said, I did figure it out. The finished garment is cute, and I can't wait to see it on my client. I can't wait for you guys to tell me a little bit more about you and your sewing experiences. This pattern, I would say, would be for an advanced sewer or sewist or seamstress or whatever we're calling ourselves these days. People that spend a lot of time in front of the sewing machine. If you have any questions, comments, like, subscribe. If you are interested in knowing more about sewing stuff, if you want me to review certain patterns, if you have anything in your, what are you sewing? What are you working on? Go to my Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitter. You can see examples of the garment that I made with this pattern, and you can hook up with my client that I made it for and check out some pictures of them wearing it over the next couple of days. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you again soon.